Hello, and welcome to Stories with Dice, an actual play podcast of some of our favorite tabletop role-playing games.
To another episode with Stories with Dice, our Tales from the Loop actual play called Mysteries of the Loop, which I think we've just started to put them out live. So
wait, this whole game has been a mystery?
It has been a mystery.
Sorry, I threw you off, Ed. Continue.
Yeah, no, thanks everyone. So yeah, the usual kind of rubbish and promo, which is if you're listening to us on any kind of social media, could you give us a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, or a follow? I'll be very grateful. We also have a Patreon channel. If you'd like to give us lots of your hard-earned cash, please go on there and subscribe. We do have a free option, but of course, we'd like to eventually pay for that yacht that Marco's saving up for. So that would be ideal. I am joined as usual by my wonderful co-host, Marco.
Hello, I was on mute, and because I'm on a yacht in the Mediterranean.
That'd be nice. I can see that we have other players who seem to have called themselves a sexy Spanish person and a sexy Scottish person. So hi, Tony. Hi, Douglas.
Hello. Hello. Can I get the next yacht after Marco?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. So I think people need to start giving us lots of money. Hi, Sol. How are you?
Hello, doing good, thank you.
What kind of sexy are you?
Slightly sexy English.
Well, Marco has to be Sicilian, sexy Sicilian.
Well, he's Sicilian. All right, I'll take silly. Sexy
That's good.
Okay, yeah, okay. And this episode, we're also joined, thankfully, by Pete, who has got over his technical issues.
Made a tech roll.
Yep.
So, without further ado, we will continue where we left off. I'm going to ask the wonderful Marco if he could do a very brief update on what we happened last session.
A very brief update. Okay, so last session, Anthony, Sven, and Johannes went back to the hideout. Anthony got annoyed by Sven, who was playing his music really loud and smoking his cigarettes. So Anthony hung out in the fire escape. Johannes made a deal with someone for one of the toy robots. And then when he showed up, Anthony left. He went home. He showed his father the robot that he has in his backpack that he very foolishly forgot to show the police officer when he went to the police the episode before last. And now his father believes him and he's looking into it, whatever that means. He called Susie to make sure Susie was okay. And Susie was fine, a little shook up. And then it would appear that Johannes and Sven very foolishly went on their own to Eula Jonneker's house, one of the inventors of these robots, these toy robots, and gotten themselves into a little bit of a pickle.
Cool. That seems
one of us has. The other's fine.
Yeah.
For now.
Excuse me, I'm a ninja.
You did do an amazing ninja roll. Yeah, so Anders found the note left by Johannes and Sven, and so ended up following the directions and has just got to this house. Sven was inside the house and Johannes was outside hiding behind the car in the driveway as these 10 little robots bearing down on them. You heard a couple of bangs from the little helicopters. Right. I guess we're going to call that some extended trouble. So it turns out that Anders happened to be nearby. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with this extended trouble? How are you going to get either yourself out of it or deal with these 10 little robots?
Well, if they're threatening my friends around the driveway, I will look around for something to grab to swing at them and try swat them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of piping and various things sort of laying around in corners. It seems that Ula, who is a bit of an inventor, also has a bunch of stuff just littered around in the garden. So that's not a problem. So yeah, you can absolutely fight your way through. That's not a problem. What does Johannes want to do?
Would talking my way out of this situation work at all?
Absolutely not. I will let you know now that if you fail this extended trouble, it could very well mean that you will at some point have to go to hospital. Yes, it's a serious consequence. They are not going to pull their blows.
I, unfortunately, because my character is mostly talky, I don't have many options. I try to jump in the car to protect myself.
Absolutely, you can.
And
okay.
Try and draw them onto myself, as it were, because I'm the focus at the moment. Because the Anders,
okay,
if they're attacking the car, they're not necessarily attacking Anders or Sven.
I tell you what, I'm I'm going to throw you a bone. If you wanted to spend a luck point, we'll use it in a slightly different way to the system. If you would spend a luck point, well, actually, you could probably change something about the scene. And I would say if you've got a luck point, there'll be keys in the car. So essentially, you would have you could drive over the robots, etc.
Okay.
You can flash on the lights and basically distract them that way, or however you think you might want to do that.
I will do that. I'll get in the car. I'll spend the luck point to sit there. And then I guess I will I don't necessarily know much about as cars as Anders, but I will press buttons.
That's fine. Okay. In that case, could make me let's call it a tinker roll. That makes sense.
Wow. 3 whole dice.
Woohoo!
Go.
Don't waste them. And if I could ask you, Anders, if you want to make a fight roll to make that using force. And actually, there's one other person in the scene that we haven't accounted for. That is Sven. Sven, what do you want to do?
So I guess I'm aware that these guys went around and did them.
Well, you would have heard me surrendering.
Okay. I'm going to do the following. Is there like any trash bucket, like these metallic trash buckets? I don't know.
Yeah. There's some trash. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to use the lid of one of them as a shield.
Yep.
If I can pick it up, kind of a shield like.
Sure. Yeah.
And is there like any big stick, metallic thing, anything?
Yeah.
That looks like
absolutely. Actually, is in the patio, there is a large, there's a large axe. There is, or a little hatchet for cutting wood, but there is also what looks like a large pole for breaking through ice.
Whatever is easier for me to wield, I guess the hatchet perhaps.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna wield the lead as a shield on my on my left, and then on my right, I'm gonna be handling this hatchet.
Cool.
And I'm gonna go ahead. It's like, okay, from ninja to samurai, let's do this.
Sure. So, if you want to add 2 to your force roll, that'd be great.
Okay. But not now, right?
Yeah, no, now. Make your force roll now.
Okay. So I'm gonna add 2 die.
You need 3 successes.
Okay. I got 2. I'm gonna, me, myself, or everyone?
So as a group, you're going to need 1 more success. So you've got 5 successes in total. You are going to need 6 successes to deal with this problem.
Okay. So how many did the other guys get?
So 2 from Anders, 1 from Johannes, and 2 from yourself.
So I need 1 more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push it.
Feel free if you wish to push it, and then mark off one of your things. That would be great.
I got 1 extra.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So what are you going to take as your
I guess I'm gonna be exhausted. I'm gonna just jump in the melee like mad. Like I'm gonna be pushing them around with the lead, and I'm gonna be hacking with the hatchet the other ones, and I'm just gonna push my way through. I'm defending my friends, and they are my whatever they are. They are the only thing that is part of my drive. So they are the only one. Actually, I could have put in an extra with the drive.
Yeah, you could do if you wanted to.
It's okay, but it's part of my drive. So basically, I couldn't leave them alone. So I just came here like a knight, samurai, whatever, and I fought my way all the way. And then when this is done and over, I'm gonna be like, holy hell! I'm gonna be like panting, but happy with all these pieces around and
sure. Yeah, you come like screaming in, hitting things, pushing things. The car is like the lights are flashing and the engine turns on. It rolls forward a little bit, then kind of like jumps backwards and forwards. There's your hands just basically pushing all the buttons and putting your foot down on some things and leaving the brake on, and you name it. You were just pushing and twiddling and doing all sorts of stuff with it. And then Anders basically comes over the fence or over the gate, swinging this pole, taking out the rest of them. And it's a frantic minute or so of your lives. As you said, it is really tiring. Basically pushed it as much as you possibly can do. And by the time you stop, you look around and they are all broken and trashed at your feet. And now I'm going to have to tell poor old Johannes that you are injured. So I'm going to give you a condition whether you like it or not. And you realize that on your left arm, there is a cut from graze from a small projectile, and it's going to leave a scar.
I feel that I got off very lucky compared to what could have happened.
Mhm.
Assume it's all quiet and down outside of the thing. All I can hear is Sven heavy breathing.
Yeah, you're all like, kind of like, whoo.
I will roll down the window and peek out and be like, did you get them?
So, and I look around, I'm holding still my weapons, and I don't know, if I see one moving, I'm like, yeah, I will flank it again.
You hit it with the back of your axe. Yeah, there are none left.
Oh, hey, Anders, you decided to join us.
Yeah, I got your note. What were they doing here?
I think they live here. We were trying, when we were pressing the intercom, we were just getting some sort of like automated messages. So I think maybe they were the ones pressing the play button on the automated messages.
Sven, you been inside?
I just had to come help you guys. I mean, I was sneaking by the back, but I couldn't get far. I look around. Is there any light on the windows? Anything else besides the robots?
The only light you can see is coming from the upstairs top floor. It appears that none of the neighbors or anything seem to have been called to any disturbance or anything. So you just appear to be just you in the dark in the garden.
Okay.
Apart from the lights from the, I guess, the car.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Okay, guys. So let's try to go through the back. Anders, bring the pipe.
Yeah. 1 second. Can I just check in the glove box and see if there's any like plasters or a first aid kit?
Yeah, but then there's a little first aid kit in the glove box.
Oh well, I'll put myself a plaster on and then take that with me. Was there anything else in the glove box?
Some papers and stuff.
Yeah, I'll grab that as well.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, but what do you guys can do?
So we'll go to the back. I will take the lead. So with the shield and the hatchet, and I would keep them, and I will go through the back to the patio door. I guess there is the outside door, and there must be one inside.
Yeah.
And I try to see if it is. Well, first I will check if there is anybody.
Yeah.
And then I will open if I can.
Okay, yeah, so you go into the patio and then there is another room inside. It is a dining room. You can see that there is a bunch of boxes of stuff on the dining room table. There is also a whole load of parts and various things strewn across the dining room table and all over the floor.
Are these boxes robot boxes?
They are. In fact, some of them, when you go into the dining room, you have a look and you can see that there's an address for the toy corner.
This might be the boxes that got taken.
You can see there's loads of robot boxes that have been broken open.
Okay, no robot inside.
No robots inside. There's enough boxes that there's a mix of toys and boxes where there were robots. And you can see that the ones that are obviously robots are broken open. There's probably about 5 or 6 boxes on here. But not only are there boxes from the factory, but there's also other boxes of electronics and various other cabling, that kind of thing, which is also strewn all over the place.
Okay. Anders, does it make sense to you, any of this? What about to you, Johannes? This is science stuff. I don't understand.
Well, it looks like whoever was here stole the robots from the toy box and was doing something with them.
Yeah, what are these cables?
It looks like fiber optic cables. Various other things. It's at that point you hear the sound of scratching coming from the door.
Okay, and then I say, guys, behind me, and I move forward with my hatchet and my shield.
Okay. As you get closer, you can hear the scratching noise, like really scratching at the bottom of the door.
Are you ready, guys? Are we doing this?
I'll look for something to grab to hit things with if there's any. I'll take is there chairs?
Yeah, you pick up one of the chairs.
I will say, hey, Johannes, you do it, and you stand behind the door so nothing touches you. Anders and me will take this. And I put myself like if I was waiting for a charge.
There's this howl and a meow as these 2 cats bolt out of the room. Whatever you were ready for, you were not ready for 2 live, living cats jumping out of the room through the back door, and they've legged it. The next thing that happens is you smell this horrendous smell of cat poop.
Anders is a farm boy. This shouldn't bother him.
No. And there's a hallway on the other side of the door with some stairs going up. You have a quick look. There's a bathroom, which is the doors open, where the cats have been going to the loo, and a storage room, which has got one of those little automated cat feeding devices, which appears to be empty. There doesn't appear to be any water in here, and it looks like the cat poop tray is full.
This is serious, guys. Where is she?
They've been stuck here for a while then.
Well, no one's seen her for quite a few days.
Hmm.
And it looks like the robots didn't care that much about taking care of animals.
I check. Is there any weapon that Johannes can use in the storage room?
Yeah, there's like a broom or something like that.
So I will get it and pass it to him.
This is lighter than chair.
Yep.
I will take that.
And this thing is it's like this karate kung fu guys, with the stick moving it around. Just.
Well, you kind of go upstairs and you kind of check out the first floor, which consists of a couple of bedrooms, a bathroom, and a hallway and stairs going up to the second floor. It looks like that this middle floor has not been lived in. There is a bedroom. There was 2 bedrooms. One that looks like it's perfectly well made up, and it looks like it's a guest bedroom that doesn't look like it's ever been used. And there is a main bedroom. Again, it looks like the bed's unmade, but other than that, it looks like it's just not been used at all.
Okay, now we continue. I keep on taking the lead, climbing the stairs.
Yeah, you climb the stairs where the light is on. As you go up, you go into the top floor, and you can see that there is a computer desk, there is a computer chair, a bunch of cables and stuff going from a large set of servers, what it looks like. And it's attached to the back of the seat. You can see there's someone sitting in the seat. You can also see there is a weird kind of couple of devices, what looks like blenders. In fact, there are some blenders here, and it looks like there's a couple of tubes which seem to be hooked up to what looks like a lady with wild, crazy hair. It appears there are feeding tubes and other kind of wiring and cabling going to this woman who is sitting in a chair.
All right.
It's horrible.
The description that Martin gave me of the crazy lady who was not very nice.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah. Oh.
You think that, oh my goodness, what's going on? And then she starts to move and she starts tapping away at the keyboard on the computer.
What do we do, guys? Is she controlling the robot?
We could ask her.
What do you mean?
Hang on a moment. Isn't it more like something's controlling her?
No. Should we cut the cables? Do you want me to cut them?
Well, can I walk up to her and get closer?
Yeah, you can. You walk up to her. As you walk up to her, you can see that behind her desk, or in front of her desk, I suppose, on the wall, there are loads of schematics, loads of different things. You have to kind of walk over various boxes of powdered food. There's loads of, you can smell sort of like that faint, horrible smell of off banana and stuff like that. Looks like someone's obviously made up a load of food, which you have to kind of walk through. Yeah.
Doctor? Hello? Excuse me?
She takes no notice of you and she's busy typing away.
Can I tap her on the shoulder?
Yeah, you tap her on the shoulder.
Hello?
Don't do anything. Nothing. She completely ignores you.
Can I wave my hand in front of her eyes?
She kind of moves her hand sort of to bat your hand away, but then goes back to tapping away on the computer. So you can see that she also has a couple of stitches behind each of her ears, except unlike the others, there are loads of wires and stuff going into each of them.
Sorry, Sven, I don't think she can be much help to us. Look, they got her.
Anders will be looking around the room for where the computers and that are actually plugged into the power supply.
Yeah, you can find that.
Hey, guys, maybe we should try turning it off and on again?
Well, she's kind of just ignoring us.
Do it. I just don't hesitate. Do it or they cut the cable.
Are you ready, Sven, just in case?
Sure. Go for it.
And then I'll hit the switch it, power off.
Okay, you switch this, you flick the switch, the power goes off, and then she suddenly starts to shake and has a seizure.
Is that normal, guys?
Does anyone know any first aid? What do you do for seizures? I've got a first aid kit.
I think you have to wait until they stop.
Okay. Does it look like she's getting better the longer we wait?
She continues to seize, and then she stops.
She's dead. You kill it.
Hang on. Does anyone know how to check if people are alive or dead? It's something to do with heartbeat.
You feel for a pulse. I'll step over and try to feel a pulse on her neck.
Okay, you can't feel a pulse.
Oh God, Anders, you killed her.
We need help. We need to help. Is there a phone around here?
Switch the thing off, on. Switch it on. Reboot, whatever. I don't know.
I think we should call the authorities.
You killed her, Anders. They'll put you away for life.
I will switch the power off.
Yeah, and then she's dead.
No, switch it on. Yeah, they're all shouting. Imagine these kids just shouting like madmen.
Yeah, just so blaming each other. It's your fault. You did it. You turned off, but you told me to.
Around the house for a telephone.
There is indeed a telephone. It seems to all be connected into all these wires.
Oh,
But we switch it on everything, right? We switch it on.
Are you going to switch on, Sven?
no, I've left it switched off for now. But
No, I will switch it on.
Okay, Sven turns it back on and she starts having another seizure.
She's having another seizure, Sven.
And then she goes back to typing away on keyboard.
What the...
Hang on.
What?
Hang on. What did Anders do? Check for. I will attempt to try and do the same thing as Anders did.
Yeah, you think you can feel a pulse? It's difficult to tell.
Yeah. Oh, she's alive. I don't get this.
Is she a zombie?
No,
Maybe.
no. She'd try and eat us if she was a zombie, not ignore us.
But perhaps it's a cyborg. This is the next step of evolution of the cyborg.
So she's like advanced cyborg.
I guess it must be, perhaps it's the brain for the cyborgs.
So she's like the cyber leader or cyber controller.
Yeah.
Well, while you think about that, what is Anthony and Susie doing in your rooms?
Well, that's the thing. I think after the chaos of the day before and my trip out and my trip back, I've probably, I reckon she's still got her headphones on. I think she's now, well, as I sort of inclined before, she's starting to think that maybe there is something to this. And I think I'm either like beautiful minding this or just putting loads of pins up on boards and like actually trying to put it together while I've got music. So I've got like, the guy we met at the start, the toy shop, the people that own the toy shop, the people in the suits, the authorities. And she's just sort of like, drawing little lines to each other. She's managed to get her dinner upstairs on a tray. Mum let her this time, which is not normal, but she's just got it sort of on the bedside table, half eaten, while she's doing this thing, putting, with music on, essentially.
Sure. Cool. Why don't you make an investigate roll for me, please?
Cool. I don't think she's very good at it, but she's just sort of thinking that's the best thing to do in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got none.
Yeah, I mean, all the information you have, you've kind of definitely put on a board. You've kind of put all the string from one thing to another, and you've got a little map of Stenhammer up. Yeah, that makes sense. It's starting to look like a proper investigative board.
Can you remind me? Can you check your pride once per session?
Yes.
Is it once per mystery?
Once per session, I think.
So I put it to you, oh masterful game master.
Oh, that's always a good start when you use that.
That I have, as I said, I'm currently listening to my music, but as we know with Susie, it's not just track after track. It's a mixtape. And I think she's got her mixtape, like her thinking mixtape, her like solve the problem mixtape. I don't know what it's filled with. Maybe it somehow has created an unorthodox mix between rock and classical. And just as we're getting into Vivaldi Four Seasons.
Right. It is very eclectic. Yep.
I would like to check my pride of my mixtapes are legendary because my thinking mixtape should not fail me. And I'd like to roll.
Yeah. And in that moment, you have a moment of clarity and you kind of like look at the board again and you're like, oh, actually, you change a few things around and you move a few bits here and there. And you're like, right, okay. So you've got like a timeline coming up and you kind of think, well, actually, the timeline shows that the factory was producing the robots and the toys at the same time, but actually the factory had actually started to only produce these like a month ago, and you kind of start sort of like pinpointing the kind of various things. You can definitely tell that you kind of look at it and go, well, you kind of put a ring around Ulyonika's name and you're like, right, okay. So you kind of realize that she used to work in the loop and she used to be in advanced robotics before something happened to her. You know that from speaking to Anthony and some of the other guys that she lost her job because of her temper. She kind of like make a note of that. You can kind of see that she then met up with the marketing guru, Helena Voss. You kind of like see that. And she was sort of one of the people that sort of started to tell the stories. The factory used to be old factory, but no one really knew what it did. But actually it turns out that it was a long time ago. It looked like it was some kind of electronics factory, perhaps.
Dad's old newspaper stuck up on the wall.
Yep, that's all kind of stuck up there. And as you're kind of like going through it, you say, okay, so clearly a month ago, the stuff would have been doing that. You kind of look at some other bits and pieces and you do some other sort of like, you look through old newspapers and stuff and you realize that there's something quite key that you've realized, that in the newspapers, there are some odd sort of things going on. And some of those odd things is that some of the people who are living in Stenhammer had started to like not going to work on certain days. And there was a couple of things, like a couple of articles like, I haven't seen my husband, or my wife has been away for a couple of days and then she's just come back. So there's a whole load of those sorts of things that seem to happen. And at the same time that it seems that the Ulla went missing, there was an issue in the loop and there was some kind of data breach that had happened. And you're just kind of like you said, your beautiful mind, and get putting all the bits together, and you can see that maybe it looks like Ulla potentially caused the data breach, maybe. And just afterwards, that's when the factory started developing these toys and / robots, perhaps. And so that's the kind of like sort of link that you suddenly get with the information that you have. What's happening with Anthony?
So Anthony thought he was going to get to sleep, but he can't. He's like, his father finally believes him. And, you know, he's just kind of lying in bed and looking over at the photograph of his missing brother on his bedside table and going over in his mind that, you know, all of this is somehow connected to the loop, and his father is just going to figure it all out, and like they're going to find his brother. And he's like making these wild leaps between these robots and the missing inventor and his father working at the loop, and how his, you know, now he's kind of like fantasizing that his father is going to sort of save the day.
Sure.
And he's, you know, he's happy about that, but he can't get to sleep because his mind won't turn off.
Okay. You just go, you sort of like toss and turn. You're going to just try really hard to try and get some sleep, or are you just going to do anything? Or are you just going to just do that whole kind of thing of, I can't sleep, I need to do stuff, but you can't do stuff because you're tired, but you can't go to sleep.
Yeah. And like, he'll go to his desk, he'll like, you know, work on his World of Greyhawk D&D campaign that he wants to rope all the kids into, and, you know, but he can't really concentrate on any of it. So then he just goes back to his bed and he just lies there staring at the ceiling, and he's got like, you know, glow in the dark stickers on his ceiling, and he's just looking at them and looking over his picture of his brother. What was the last
interaction you had with your brother?
The last interaction he had with his brother was sneaking out with his friends, and they were going to go somewhere where they weren't supposed to be. It was like within the grounds of like the loop facility. And Anthony had tried to tell him not to go because it was, you know, a bad idea.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of like remember your brother sort of like leaning in, smiling at you and saying that he's going to come back with something cool, which he'll get for you, something from the loop. Something you'll find really amazing. And he smiles and kind of wanders off as he kind of like sneaks out the house. And that's your last kind of like memory of your brother.
Yeah. And Anthony sort of imagining, since, you know, he's seen tons of sci-fi and what have you. And he has referenced Star Trek before. So, you know, he kind of imagines that his brother slipped into some other universe or parallel dimension or something. And somehow they're going to find him or help him find his way back or something.
Yeah. Okay. So while you're sort of thinking of your brother,
can I interrupt Tony?
You can.
I'm kind of imagining it's probably been a little later, so I don't know how the timelines might mix up. But once I've sort of made my extra connections, I guess, I think Susie would have gone straight downstairs and gone, I'm just going to go and check on Anthony. Here's where I'm going, drawn it on a map.
Yeah.
Drawn exactly where the path I'm taking, like everything to confirm to my mother that I'm going to be all right.
Your mum is happy to drive you to Anthony's if you want.
Yeah, that'll work. She'll hop in the car then. When I get to Anthony's though, I'm not gonna knock on the door. I'm gonna do the throw stone against the window.
Shit. Yeah, that's fine.
The little pedals against the windowsill.
And so Anthony thinks that the robots found him, right? And so then he's like a little scared, and he's like in the corner because his bed's up against the corner of his room, and he's like, in the corner, just kind of like looking at his window for a minute. And then he hears a couple of more, and then he sees maybe like in a glint of light or something, a street light outside or something, that it's a pebble. So then he creeps over to the window and he opens it up and he pops his head out. Oh, hey, Susie, what are you doing up?
Anthony, I'm sorry, I didn't really believe you, but I think I'm going mad. I need your opinion. I've been building this wall back in my room, and I really need you to see it because I think I'm onto something. I could really use your help.
He sort of looks around for a minute and he's like, my
mom's in the car.
You want me to go into your room? But like, you're a girl.
Yeah, and you're a 10-year-old boy, Anthony. It doesn't matter. It's just a room, but it's where I've put everything. It's up on my wall. You'll have to excuse the mess and everything, but
okay, just give me a minute. I close the window. I get dressed. I go to check on. Usually my father's up late, but I'll check and see if he's gone to bed or still awake.
He's watching some sports on TV.
I go over to him and I say, Dad, my friend Susie is outside. It looks like her mom drove her here and she wants to show me something. So is it okay if I go? I was going to sneak out, but I decided not.
He smiles at you and says, sure, that's okay. Just let me know when you want to come back and I'll come pick you up.
Okay. And I gave him the number. I gave him Susie's number and I'm like, this is the number in case, you need to get a hold of me.
He says, yeah, go and spend some time with your friend. It's fine.
Thanks, Dad. So then I give him a hug. I'm going to lay it on thick.
He gives you a hug back.
And then I
love you, son.
Don't get all weird, Dad.
He pushes you away and goes, go on.
So I run outside to Susie and the car.
What's your mum's name, Susie?
Marie.
Marie is there and waiting for you. And she says, hello, Anthony. As I'm hopping.
Okay, thanks.
And then she drives you back to their place, which is it's probably like a 4-minute drive at most.
Yeah, can't be too careful these days, Ed.
No, apparently things happen to people who just go out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, yeah, you go back to your house.
Okay, Susie. So what's this wall you want to show
rush
me?
up to my room. Just do, the throw my coat off, get up to the room, open the door, and go, look. And I'm just going to point him to the wall that I was doing all of the dots.
What am I looking at?
Right. So this is us, and this is the loop, and that's those weird people, and that's the horrible security guard, and they're the robots, and there's the toy stuff. And she just points through them all. And there's been people who've been disappearing from their work, and the newspaper is dodgy, and I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that certainly sounds like Magnus and that police officer. He wasn't at work that day when I spoke to the investigator. I think. Well, yeah. I mean, this is some pretty amazing stuff, Susie. But is it like? Is there an answer in here? 2 + 2 is 4. Like, what's the sum of this weird map that you drew?
Something's definitely dodgy with, who was it? It was the media person, and
yep.
And who was the other? Who are they linked to?
So they are linked with. So the factory is linked with. I'll just get a name again. Helena Voss, who is the
Helena Voss,
one of the co-creators of My Friends and Machines.
Mm-hmm. And she's gone missing, right?
She's also gone missing. Yeah.
I think it's all down to her, and I point to her in the center.
But where's the other person? The Ula Jonikers person. Johannes had her address.
Let's go talk to Johannes.
Do you have his number?
Surely they're at the. Hang on, who's Johannes? That's one of our.
That's one of yours. That's Douglas.
How dare you?
I was so confused for a second. Surely he's at the hideout. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Is your mom going to drive us?
Mom can't take you to the hideout.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't tell your mom. Okay, you lead the way.
Yeah, you both head off to the hideout. Right. What are you guys going to do with the woman in the chair and everything that's going on in the house?
Anders, do we need to call anymore? She's not dead.
What?
She's not dead.
Are you sure? And I'll rush back up.
You run back upstairs. She looks like she's working on something, like some schematics and stuff, as if nothing bad's happened.
See? I checked her pulse and everything.
Got to show this to someone.
Yeah, but what is any of this? Can I have a look at the stuff on the desk closely?
Yeah.
It's working on.
Make a calculate roll for me, please.
I do like how all the smart brainy stuff is happening away from the science place, and it's like the real luckheads and the speaking person.
That's exactly what.
Calculate, you say. Oh, this is
Please.
a straight tech roll of 2. A -1 because I'm injured.
Did you want to involve anyone else to have a look at them with you?
No. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yes, 1 success and 1 dice.
Somehow you kind of look at it and go, this kind of makes sort of sense. You've seen this before. So it looks like all the bits that are on the side and on the bits, all the schematics, appear to look like an upgraded version or an upgraded version of the little robots that you see already. There also appears to be a lot of information from the factory, and it looks like there's an upgrade to the factory to make, and if you look at the figures correctly, 10,000 of these over the next 3 months. When you look at them, it also appears that there are some wording that is worrying, miniaturization of weapons and some other bits and pieces that kind of make you go, oh, okay. And it looks like they're integrating these little toys to become a lot of almost military grade. Some of them look like they've been scaled up to sort of small doll sizes instead of little toys. Yeah, it looks like they are ramping up.
Anders, have a look at this thing. This looks like a schematic for like the robot, but the scale's all wrong. It's way bigger than the ones we've seen. I'll pass him over that blueprint.
Oh dear. Looks like they're building an army of these things.
Yeah.
If you're also going to have a little look around, could you too, please, Anders, make a comprehend roll for me, please? Cool. I think was that 1 success you got?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you kind of look around and you can see that there's a whole list of names of various people. You recognize some of them. You recognize a couple of the names of some people who work in the local ICA, which is the supermarket. You see Sven's dad's name on this list. You see the police officer's name on the list. You see the name of the security guard that was outside in the shack on the list. And there's a bunch more. You also see Anthony's dad's name on the list and Susie's mum's name on the list.
Hey, guys, this seems to be the list of the people they're taking control on.
Yeah, I recognize some of them. Oh, Sven, your dad's name's on here.
When you look at that name, it's emboldened font as opposed to, say, Susie's mum, who is not. And it looks like the ones that are all on emboldened font and underlined appear to be the ones that have been turned into, what did you call them? Cyber zombies or whatever you were calling them.
Oh my God. This is proof.
Cyborgs.
Yes. It was all her. And I point to the lady in the chair. She's behind it all.
Is it? I mean, this is pretty incapable to me.
Well, it's her house.
But
And
again,
she's literally working on all the stuff right now as we speak. She was looking at this a wee while ago.
aren't we sure that she's not another cyborg, as I said? Perhaps she's just the brain of the cyborg.
She's the cyber leader controller. She's the one in charge.
Is she controlling them?
Maybe we should try warning the people on this list who haven't been got yet.
Maybe we should talk with the police woman again and give her this list. Even though, I don't like police, but I don't see how.
Probably is worth getting them at least notified of all this. I'll gesture around because a lot of this is very scary.
Yeah. Have we checked the whole room?
You haven't. There's another door.
Can I check that one?
You can. You open up the room and you can see that there is in this room another couple of servers, which wires that are running through the wall into the room you were in the sort of like the study workroom. And you can see that all the little server buttons are going from green to red and systematically turning off.
Do these servers look similar to the ones we saw in the basement of the factory?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm wondering we should destroy all this before we leave.
I'll tell you what, let's just try turning off a server and I will press the off button.
Okay, you go to turn the off button, it doesn't turn off.
It must be stuck. I'll push harder.
Yeah, push the red button and it goes down and up, but it doesn't turn off any of the servers.
I'll be fumbling through my pockets for the card the inspector gave us.
Yep.
With the number on.
As the little dots at the bottom of the server go down from green to red from one of the servers, the server sort of like shuts itself down, and then it starts to sort of like cool down, and sort of like you can hear the fans and stuff stopping as the next ones, all the buttons are kind of like going from green to red and all shutting down as well.
Oh, I think I did it. Well, I did something.
But check the woman.
She seems to be typing slower than she was before. And as she does that, she kind of like finishes a couple of the keys, and you can see on the screen, it says deleting files. And there's these little lines going across the thing to show all the files that are being deleted. Loads of little file names like disappearing very quickly into sort of what looks like the trash folder or something.
Do I see? How is she communicating this outside?
She doesn't seem to be communicating.
No. The computer. Can I
It
understand?
looks like the computer's linked to something else.
Can I look for that cable to this antenna or something?
Yeah, you kind of look around, you find a bunch of cables. Make a comprehend roll.
I'm the smartest cookie.
Join the club.
Failure.
Have axe will chop.
Okay. You can't seem to find the right cable. There is a bunch of them.
I just start chopping.
You start just pulling the cables and cutting the cables. Okay.
Georgie?
I'll do it. That'll do it.
Right once.
All of them.
Yeah, you start cutting all of them and you're like, I'll just start cutting and pulling, which you do. And eventually the computer turns off, and then she sort of like starts to have a seizure again.
My gosh.
Yeah. I'm sitting there watching the servers, so I can't see what Sven's doing. Are the servers doing anything differently, or are they just doing the turret slowly turning off as well?
They pretty much, by the time that Sven has kind of cut the last cable and stuff, all the servers have kind of gone red and turned themselves off.
Problem solved. Turn them off.
She then lets out this horrible, when she stops convulsing, she lets out this horrible sort of like deep rumbling kind of noise, which scares the living daylights out of you, and she goes still.
What the heck was that?
Call an ambulance.
I'm already.
Did you turn the power off again?
Remember, I cut the cables, man.
You cut? Oh, yeah, they're very cut. I will desperately try and touch the wires back together, but I'm not sure which ones are which. So I'm like, are you still alive?
He's done a proper good job of like cutting all those cables with his like knife and stuff.
Not working. She's still dead.
Okay, Anders, are you calling?
Yeah, I'm down by the phone now. What's going on up there? I'm just calling the inspector.
I think Sven killed her again. Well, for the first time, he did it.
The phone line is dead.
God damn it.
Maybe you cut through the phone cable.
But can you go and talk with your friend next door, whatever you got this info? Perhaps they can call.
Yeah, I can suppose kind of go ask Martin. How late is it at this point?
It's probably about 7:30, 7:45. It's not
so it's
late.
still.
But it's dark. It's dark though.
But it's not like middle of the night knocking on someone's door.
No.
Fine.
So you're going to go down from upstairs down to.
Yeah.
Okay. As you go to walk past Ulla and her dead body, she grabs your arm. As she grabs your arm, she screams this horrendous, blood-curdling scream. And she sits bolt upright, which scares you again, more so than the whole rattling of her chest and everything. And she just screams, "No!"